Hey, what's up, buds? Good Wednesday morning to you. Good to see you all again. How's your week been? Hopefully, it's been good. If it hasn't been the best, remember this too shall pass, whether it's been your day, week, or month where you're just like, this has got to stop, whatever it might be, just know that it will get better. It always does. So hang in there. Last episode, we talked about anxiety, and I thought I would check in. Maybe you watched it, maybe you didn't, but how are you feeling today? Do you have feelings of anxiousness? Are you constantly worrying about the future or just mulling over the past, all the coulda, shoulda, wouldas? How are you feeling? What about stress? Are you feeling stressed out? Okay. Are you feeling like a normal amount of stress, or are you thinking, are you kidding me? I'm stressed out every single day. I've got kids, I've got bills, I've got work, I've got a boss that is down my neck. How is stress for you? What about sleep? Are you feeling overly tired? No matter if you get 9 hours of sleep or 5 hours of sleep, you're constantly just feeling run down and ragged? All right, well, what if I told you that some of that might be attributed to the way you're breathing or not breathing? I know it sounds a little funny. It was funny for me when I first heard this and learned it as well. But the reality is this, that a lot of us are just going through our days and all we're doing is automatic breathing. And then automatic breathing is breathing that happens right here in our chest. And we're not really taking deep, meaningful breaths. And when we're not doing that, that wears on our body. If we're breathing up here constantly, just think about it for a minute. If you're just, and maybe it's not that labored, and maybe it's not that exaggerated, but if you're constantly just breathing up here, you're sending signals to your body that something might be wrong, right? So just think about that for a minute. And think about when the last time was that you took a full breath. Maybe you exercise, so you're mindful of your breathing. Maybe yoga, right? Yoga's a big one. And maybe you meditate. Maybe you're already doing that, and so you dedicate time daily or weekly to focus on your breathing. In any of those cases, I still wanted to talk about the benefits of breathing and breathing done correctly and why we should start practicing that. Benefits at this point have been researched so extensively. I'm happy to drop research articles, whatever you might find useful. So if you want any information, leave me a comment below and I'm happy to share that. But it's been so backed by science and research at this point that it's just mind-blowing to me that more people aren't engaging in it, and that we're not teaching our kids, and that we're not doing it at school and intentionally, having breath breaks at work. It's that beneficial for us. It helps with things like increasing your focus. It helps with boosting immunity. It helps with lowering blood pressure, and blood pressure is huge, right? That's linked to cardiovascular disease and stress. Stress is a big one. A lot of us are stressed, whether it is because of work or whether it's because of relationship issues or things we have going on at home. Stress seems to be a hot topic, but we very rarely pay attention to it. And so I want to share breath work from my perspective, how I found it, and how to use it maybe in a different way that you haven't heard before. So I like to use 3 techniques specifically, and we'll talk about those in the next 2 videos. So the first one is breath work, the second one is mindfulness, and the third one is chanting. We can refer to it as the 3 M's if that's easier, and we can just call it meditation, we can call it mindfulness, and we can call it mantra. So for today's episode, let's get rolling into breath work or meditation. When I first learned about meditation, it seemed very elitist, very almost monastic, meaning you had to be a monk in a village that just practiced this on a regular basis. And you sat in your robe, cross-legged on a cushion with your posture, and everybody was quiet, everyone was doing it together. You don't have to do any of that. You don't even have to sit on the floor. You have to sit cross-legged. And so when I learned breath work, I learned it as simple as this. You're just going to make sure you breathe in through your nose all the way down to your belly. So make sure it passes. You'll feel it. I mean, you'll feel it. It's a full body experience. And then you release that air, that oxygen, back out until you are releasing it through your nose or through your mouth. You can do whatever feels comfortable for you. If breathing in through your nose and out through your nose feels natural, do that. If you prefer to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, do that. But always, always, always breathe in through your nose, in through your nose, in through your nose. So we're not taking breaths from our, see, even when I try to do that, I can't. I get short of breath. So in through your nose is going to give you the best bang for your buck. That's really the proper way to do breath work and breathe fully into our diaphragm. The way I discovered it was by simply breathing in through my nose and then out through my mouth. At the time, breathing out through my nose felt horrific. I felt like almost short of breath. It's hard to explain, but it didn't work for me. And how I started, because back then I just didn't have the time to dedicate even 30 seconds or 60 seconds a day to breathing, I would do it in the car on the drive to and from work. And so I would drive, and as I'm driving, I would just remember to breathe in through my nose for 1, and then I'd breathe out, count 2, and then I would just continue to do that, and I would count the breaths. In for 1, out 2, in 3, out 4. And when I realized that I forgot what number I was on, that meant that I wasn't focusing on my breathing enough, and my mind was wandering back into my thoughts of whatever was waiting for me at work, or this traffic jam, or the guy behind me that's like really close, about to rear end me. So I'd start over again. The reason I recommend doing it in the car is because you would be amazed at how often the car is one of the places that we are just completely like zoned out. We are on autopilot, right? Like you leave work or you leave wherever you're leaving from and going to, and you get there, and sometimes it's like, how did I even get here? So because of that, I think it's a critical part of our day to be able to practice this. And again, it helps sort of defeat that, well, I don't have time. Well, if you have to drive to work or drive the kids to school, then you're in the car, and that to and from time, or maybe even sitting in traffic, is going to be ample time for you to do that. Once I started really practicing this technique, I can't stress enough how much you will just feel the difference in yourself and in your body. It really activates just all of the cells in your body. It's incredible. It's amazing. I can't boast about it enough. And so I'm going to end with, it's going to be a short one today. I'm going to end with us going through one of these together. But one thing that I will say is, when you try to do this on your own and for yourself, the most important thing is that you don't try to force it. If you think you're going to sit down cross-legged, perfect posture, sitting up straight, and hold that, and it's going to be glorious and amazing, and you're going to be able to focus and breathe, and if you've never done it before, or you've only done it once or twice in your entire life, it's not going to work like, it doesn't even work like that for somebody who's done it for years. Chances are your mind's going to be racing. Chances are even more that you're going to want to get up. As soon as you sit down, you're going to want to just like jump up and go do something. You're going to want to clean or leave the house or check your phone. It's in building that muscle and continuing to come back to our breath and that practice that'll strengthen it. So if you're going to try it at home, know that at home you don't have to be sitting up. You can lie down if that feels better for you. Maybe you try to do a few deep breaths before you go to bed or before you get out of bed in the morning, and just see how it feels for you. But again, the key is going to be in through your nose. Remember, in through your nose, and then out through your mouth, or out through your nose. And try to count each of those inhale and exhales. And if you lose track of what number you're on, start over. I challenge you for the next week to try to do 30 seconds to a minute if you've never done this before. sit down, set a timer in front of you. If you want to try it, if you want to try in the car, just try in the car and see how far up you get in the counts. But I definitely recommend you try it. One practical example of how this has worked in my life that I can give you before we transition to doing a minute of this together is that it works. The longer you do it, the quicker your body is going to respond to this immediate stress relief activity. So if you're in a heightened state for whatever reason, you're stressed out, somebody yelled at you, somebody cut you off in traffic and you almost hit them and now you're shook, you're shook up a bit. You are upset because your husband did or didn't do something for the 27th time, and you're just feeling your blood start to boil and your face get hot and you're just getting angry and your hands are getting clenched. Doing these breaths and making them become more automatic, just more part of what you do, of just like, okay, will help slow everything down. It will help calm your nervous system. It will help decelerate that fight or flight response that we get when we're in that mode. So the practical example I can give you is this. About 6 or 7 months ago, I dropped my son off at daycare. And on the way home, I see this van pull up behind me on the freeway. And I'm watching in my rear view mirror, and he's getting real close to me. And he starts, pointing at me, and he's kind of going off. And I'm just thinking like, oh my gosh, did I cut him off? I didn't see him. Maybe I did. I have no idea. So I think, okay, he's going to just be upset at me. He's going to speed around me and then take off, and that's going to be that. Well, it wasn't. This person decided to follow me for about 10 to 12 miles, all the way back into town where I live. And he would accelerate and he would pull up next to me. And at this point, I start panicking. Because I don't know if this guy has a gun. He obviously won't get off my, get away from me. He's very agitated, angry. Whatever I did or didn't do, I honestly have no idea. But even if I cut him off, I never expected this. So I'm fully engaged in a road rage incident now, and he just won't stop. Finally, he pulls back behind me and he starts doing this like fishing motion. At that point, I'm done. Like, I'm freaking out. I don't know what's going to happen. So I call 911 in my car, and operator comes on, and I start saying, hey, you please send somebody, this guy, and I'm just like blabbing. Like, I can't even get a word out because I'm just stammering. I'm visibly shaking. Like, I feel myself get heightened. So the dispatcher finally asks me, okay, what tell me the vehicle that you're driving. What does your vehicle look like? And I'm driving a Toyota Ford. And I said, okay, I'm driving a white Toyota 4Runner. It took one inhale and one exhale to completely bring myself down from the level 100 I was at to maybe 50, maybe level 40, enough to where I could calm myself, pay attention to the road that I was still driving on, figure out where this guy was going, and tell the dispatcher what she needed to know. It's that quick. It's that quick because things are going to happen. And I know that's an extreme example, but things are going to happen that are going to set us off. And sometimes it's just your kid lying to you about where they went after school. And being able to calm ourselves down enough to have a rational conversation, not an emotional conversation, to think through the next best step. All of that starts with how we're breathing and what's going on in our bodies. So beyond all the long-term benefits of physical benefits of breath work, just something as tangible as that, as being able to be more level-headed in an interaction with somebody or with yourself, is incredible. I couldn't believe it. I journaled on that for probably a couple of weeks because I couldn't believe how shooken up I was, visibly just trembling with fear and agitation and just the stress response. And to be able to calm down like that, for it to be automatic, was amazing, and all of my hard work had paid off. So with that, I encourage you to try this on your own. Do 30 seconds to a minute if you can. If you can't do it every day, maybe start with a couple of times a week and focus on how you feel before and after. So I didn't bring my timer with me, so I'm going to turn on Alexa and we're going to do a full minute. Okay, so if you're going to do this with me, just get in a comfortable position. If all you can do is sit up, then go ahead and sit up. Close your eyes if you'd like, keep them open. If you keep them open, just try to stare down somewhere in front of you so you're not wandering around. And here we go, just focus on your breath. All right, Alexa, set 1 minute on the timer, please. 1 minute, starting now. Alexa, off. And just like that, you've done 1 full minute of deep belly breathing. Please let me know what you thought of today's episode. Let me know if you try it and what you think. There are at least a dozen ways out there to do different types of deep breathing. This is my preferred method. There are a couple of other ones that I'll share maybe in the future, or if you want to know sooner than later, again, give me a thumbs up and comment down below and I'll provide that for you. But just know there are different ways to do this, and the only type of meditation, the only type of breath work that's going to really work and matter is the one that works for you. So as long as you're doing the breathing correctly, you really can't go wrong with how you do it. So let me know what you think, and until next time, just know that I see you, I care about you, I believe in you, and I'm here. Talk to you all soon. All right, bye.